What's up, guys? It's me, boy Kwis, and we're back again with another video. And I guess it's the day after. It's the hangover, the come down. We're kind of coming off the announcement now, and I guess it's time we I want to talk about certain things. I'm not gonna do like a full slow-mo breakdown of the trailer. I feel like I did enough of that in my reaction to the video, and I'm not trying to do too much, but I do want to talk about the future, because we saw a lot, we also didn't see a lot. There's a lot to digest, and I think the best thing about the trailers, they gave us lots to speculate on, and not all of it is promising. I think before I want to get into this video, the first thing I want to do is ask you guys to like and subscribe, because it helps me out greatly. I'd appreciate it. We're closing in on 28,000. That's close to 30,000. I'd love that. And the second thing I want to do is apologize, because I don't know, I feel like I may have gotten with my video yesterday, before the trailer, I might have gotten some people's hopes and expectations up, and saying we can see this, we could see release date, we could see a bunch of characters, this, that, and the other. And I'm sorry, like, the reason I felt that way is because of the marketing. You know, I feel like a lot of people have said the same thing, like the marketing sort of led people to this expectation of huge expectations, of great expectations. You know, we might get a release date, because save the date was the main thing. I personally didn't think that was the reason it could have led to a release date. Like, save the date, I didn't think that meant a release date. I just felt like, you know, it's December 8th, save the date. They were trying to do something clever with that. For some people, that meant we could see release date. But for me, I expected, because of that, all they're showing, we've got to get a bunch of stuff. And yes, it was because of like their marketing, the way they led it, but I was the one who said to you guys, you know, we should expect certain things. And if you went into that because of me, I apologize. But if you didn't, it's all good. But yeah, I think that's the first thing to touch on. There wasn't much shown in this trailer. And I see a lot of people comparing it to Street Fighter 6, and like they've had so much in this and that. But Street Fighter 6 is sort of ahead its marketing cycle. The game already has its release date, got its release date announced. The Game Awards is going to be June something, June 9th, June 6th. I'm gonna look it up. June 2nd. So they are further ahead, so they are going to be showing more, obviously. So I'm not expecting them to do as much as Street Fighter 6 are doing right now. But it also brings into question release date for Tekken, blah blah blah. It's probably going to be later than that article where they said March is probably going to be later than that. And then the last thing I want to touch on before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video is the sort of analysis, the expectation that I've kind of seen, like the reaction I've seen from people is from competitive Tekken players and content creators, the people who are spending most of their time within the community. There's more of a negative reaction to it. We were expecting more, blah blah blah, whatever. But from the casual side, from people who, you know, they're not competing, they may not make content, or they make it in content infrequently, they were like, that was great, that was hype, character, real new character. So I think it's good to look at this from two different lenses. I think they did a good job of showing something at the Game Awards, because that's something we have to remember. It's at the Game Awards. They're not going to do in-depth mechanical breakdowns of shit of a fighting game at the Game Awards. So I'm not too bothered about that. And I think the fact that they have announced a returning character, and I think they did a decent job for the Game Awards. Now, there's two sort of ways I want to tackle. I want to go at this video in the good and the bad. So I think we'll start off with the bad, because I'm a negative person, and let's just get into it. So if you see here, there was this IGN tweet, which also led to an article. Basically, Fonte gets brand new trailer, the Game Awards. We're joined by director Katsuya Harada for a full breakdown of all its biggest reveals. So there's this huge article here. I'm going to link it down in the comment section or the description somewhere so you guys can see it. We're not going to focus on all of it, because not all of it is relevant to what I want to talk about. A few key things: Jun and Jin may be mother and son, but Harada admits that the series hasn't really touched on their relationship. We feel need to touch more on Jun and her relationship with Jin, how that affects him. Got to understand Jin's powers, so there's going to be a lot going on there. People also saying this could lead to Angel Jin. We might see Angel Jin. That's going to be his fully confirmed, controlling the Devil Jin into Angel Jin. That's something people are throwing out there. There's a lot going on. But what I want to focus on is here. Heat up, be aggressive. So I'm just going to go over this, and like, this is where I'm saying where things could be. I'm going to look at this from a negative perspective to start off with. And then we'll go into more positives on what we can take going into the future of Tekken. But first off, the key word to relay the concept for the battle system is aggressiveness. Harada says this is something we focused on in all the various elements of the gameplay. Fighting games are kind of an interesting genre because it's you and another human opponent in most cases, right? Say if somehow you're both able to block 100% of attacks, then the match itself wouldn't progress because nobody would do damage. The changes in Tekken 8 come from the team thinking about how they would go about making the game exciting to both play and watch. We felt that the person attacking should be really enjoying the gameplay and enjoying themselves, and to feel they're at an advantage and they have a better chance to win if they go on the offensive rather than turtling up. One other thing the trailer introduces is the new heat system, which is meant to enhance and articulate aggressive, and that's how it's actually going to be implemented into the gameplay. While Harada couldn't share the fine details of what heat system would mean for Tekken 8's gameplay, he did say this is what the next game would look like in motion and promised more details next year. Now, heat system. This is where the trouble is starting to build into, where people's trepidation is coming from. Because to a lot of people, it's feeling like Mita. And Mita, Tekken, we didn't like it the first time at all. It feels like it's something different, but it does sound like it's going to be some kind of Mita management system. And if we want to see what the heat system can do, I have some examples for you guys of what we believe the heat system is going to look like. So first off, we have this here from Law. He's glowing and he's doing attack here. This could be some kind of special heat attack, which also brings into question, does it replace rage? Now, I'll talk about rage later on, but what I believe what we're looking at here is when they glow is an instance of heat, and we see it using offensively here for some kind of special move, which could be a heat art or a heat drive, which we might start saying now. Another instance of heat, potentially, we have Jack doing a forward 2, then he starts glowing into this big rail gun from the sky. Could be another instance of heat, or maybe it's just a generic Tekken, we don't know right now. This could be another instance of heat. And then you have King doing a forward 2-1, there's like a glow type thing. This could be heat, or this could just be how the stage interactions work in the game. It could be one of the two. We can only speculate right now, there was no full confirmation. What people are really expecting the heat to be, and these are the main two examples of it and why people are so worried, is this here. You see here, this from Lars. As a forward 3, it does a knockback. It's similar to the knockback we already have in the game. But why it's interesting is you see he then dashes up afterwards, almost like an FADC, almost like a cancel, forward 3 into cancel into dash up. And this is where people are worried, and also build some of my worry instead, because it's looking kind of like 2D mechanics, FADC cancels and this and that. So take a look at this. There's a forward 3, there's a dash, goes in, and then he gets a combo of it. Forward 3 right now is not a launcher in the game. So with this new cancel, certain moves, maybe they just knock back, or a lot of moves that knock back, are you going to be able to do your heat cancel into it and get more damage off of it? Who knows? And then last but not least, you'll have Jin doing the same thing, which is first he dashes up, and you see him glowing there as well. So that might be an instance of heat in and of itself. Then does a forward 2, we believe to be a forward 2, or could be a new running 2, because, you know, he's running into it. It could be a running 2. Does it? The wing comes out, then there's that huge dash. We can't see Lars do the same animation properly because he's covered, and then we only see him stand. So you see like the aura covers him. So we can't see if he's doing the exact same kind of dash. He's doing a similar thing. Then you see the dash forward 2 on block into something, a back 3 into Zen, a new Zen move, which he's glowing in all this as well. So this could all be usage of the heat. Also something to point out is it looks like, because as Kazuya is guarding, you can see his glowing green. So glowing green, I don't know my fucking colors. He's glowing red. I don't know where green came from. He's glowing red wherever he hits. So this could be like a guard break building up. This could be like I don't know, like his trick. Like I don't know what that could mean. Maybe because here's the thing, they're talking about aggressiveness. We want aggressiveness to be the forefront of this next game. Maybe just blocking, you know, is gonna lead to disadvantages in the game, because you see blocks forward 2 or the running 2 with the wing coming out into heats cancel, glowing, blocks the back 3, glowing again. Like what? Like are there going to be penalties for blocking in Tekken 8? So this is why there's a lot of negativity surrounding the Tekken 8 stuff from the core community. And I think what is really, if you look at the direction some of the characters have gone in and some of the mechanics have gone in Tekken 7, this is why this idea is becoming even more prominent. You have a character like Farcomram, for example, who literally penalizes you for blocking. You know, if you blocked against him, guard break, a wall splat, whatever, And he had so many plus on block. Like he had his jet kick running through. Like he was a character like really just forced you to block really in a lot of situations. Then when you try and block too much, guard break, wall splat. And then look at new tactics, for example. Claudio running two at the wall unit, you get a huge minus 21, you know, with guards. So there's a lot going on there. That's all I want to touch on, like the heat system stuff as well. If you want a more in-depth breakdown, I know FeedX put up a video and he did a really good job of explaining it in Tekken terms, what this could mean, and also looking at how it is right now. So I'll put FeedX's video somewhere. And if you want to learn more about the heat system, what it could potentially be, I feel like that's a smarter man than I to go over it. Now, that's definitely a lot to chew on there. I'll be honest. It does not seem great. However, I feel like there are the caveats we can take away from this now. First of all, this was just a trailer for the Game Awards. This was a trailer mainly aimed at the casuals. Let's be honest. They're going to show the most exciting things casually to build up hype with people who just may end up being spectators. Like this kind of trailer was not for the core audience. So they're going to show the stuff that literally looks the most flashy. And let's be honest, like in Tekken 7, when the game, there was some flashy shit they could have shown that would scare the living hell out of a Tag 2 player. So I feel like we can sort of slow down a bit and the sky is not falling just yet. And going back to the heat system for a second, I know rage is currently a problem. A lot of people have a problem with rage in the game. I think I saw Speedkicks make a tweet not too long ago talking about how rage is a problem because you can be beating your opponent for the majority of the rounds, you're destroying them, and then suddenly they get access to these huge combat mechanics and they can literally twist the entire game in their favor doing like a rage drive. You know, if it hits, they get a huge combo and damage. If they block it, you get huge plus frames and a force mix up. I feel like this could just be replacing rage entirely, which is a good thing. I think having both would be absolutely crazy. Like imagine like you do like a heat dash up into a rage drive, into a wall bounce explosion, you know, like into GG shake my hand. So I feel like we might not be getting that. However, back to a little bit of worry, maybe like the heat system is like rage that you have access to all the time, and then you can just force these mix-ups all the time, because that's basically what it looked like happened with Jin. The forward to dash in, he had to just keep blocking that entire time, you know, and just forced to take the mix-up, which isn't a great thing, but we don't know what it's like just yet, so we have to sort of measure our expectations. And another positive to take away from this is the fact that Harada also, you know, we had that Harada interview there, you know, posting all that, talking about the game. And yes, it is worrying, the aggressiveness idea, and like, you know, is blocking a bad idea. But then I think where we have a chance to have all of our worries, you know, sort of subsided is, and what I think is good as well, is take a look at this. Banauka Esports tweeted at the North American Regional Finals, which is actually this weekend, this Sunday. I'll probably be restreaming that, so make sure you're locked in. There is going to be a panel with Harada and Michael Murray diving into what we saw at the Game Awards. So we're going to be able to ask them questions. We're going to be able to learn more. You know, they're not just leaving us high and dry until Tekken World Tour Finals. They're going to be there at regional finals to talk about more of this. So I'm definitely excited to see what they have to say and see how, you know, where things go from there. Also, again, I want to go back to the article real quick because it talked about a bunch of different characters. It also was the article that I used to confirm there is Jin, Kazuya, Jun, King, Paul, Lars, martial law. So I believe that it is definitely martial law. Like when I first saw it, I had a bit like, is this Forest? Is this Liu Kang? You know what I mean? But like, it is confirmed martial law. He had the scars on his chest as well, which is also what helped confirm it as well. So yeah, martial law. But on that note, one last thing I want to touch on, I guess I have to go back to a negative, was I the only one that felt like the Tekken 8 trailer that we saw now looked like downgraded graphics from the first one that we saw? No, like first off, the camera was zoomed in a lot more on the one we saw in this one. It was close to what we see in Tekken 7, and the graphics just did they look a bit downgraded to anyone else? Like maybe it was just the stage we saw, maybe that was just story mode stuff, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. Maybe they, you know, did that original trailer and just realized this is not feasible for the entire game to look like this, or maybe just, I don't know, we didn't spend as much time in one place in this trailer. We jumped all over the place. We saw the new stages, would look amazing. But by the way, I have to say they're like, this Gladiator stage, which is another reason people were like, Mortal Kombat doesn't look like a Mortal Kombat stage. This stage here, which looks like Forgotten Realm in an apartment complex with hazards, it does look cool. This stage as well, Times Square, this is one I definitely excited to play. But one thing I've noticed is there does seem to be a lot like noise, you know, going on with the sparks and, you know, the heat and more hit sparks. Like they seem like you see the debris and everything. There seems to be a lot of that going on. But you know, there's only so much we can take from what we've seen. It was a 1-minute trailer. In total, we've had like 3 minutes of Tekken 8 footage. I know we're thirsting, dying for more, and it does suck that we aren't getting more, but you know, this weekend we'll have some of our questions answered at the North American Regional Final, so I'm excited for that. I hope you guys check that out. I'll be restreaming it, so make sure you guys lock in on my stream. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.